Welcome into this Tuesday, May 13th edition. Blue Sky Live here with you this morning. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. Very rainy morning, rainy overnight here in Lafayette County, but there is baseball to be played tonight, I guess, as of right now. Ole Miss and UT Martin, the Rebels and the Skyhawks getting after it. 6:30 here tonight from Swayze Field. There's not an abundance of rain in the forecast like there is in Starkville. Credit to Mississippi State. They had no illusions. They used rain as a reason to not play North Alabama tonight in a final non-conference tilt there for the Bulldogs. So we'll talk about some baseball, talk a little football today as well on a show. Yeah, Mavericks win draft lottery. I mean, no conspiracies here. We'll get to that later, maybe.
I don't know. We're not talking about NBA on this show.
I don't know.
Not doing it. You might. I don't do it. That way, the people that say I do it get shut down.
Is it a microaggression if I mention the draft right now?
You can talk about this. Your show too.
Okay. All right, we'll see where this thing heads. Where it does? What's that? Oh, it's you. Okay, maybe.
Oh, did I?
I don't know. That was a big ding.
I don't think it's me.
Maybe it was me. Okay. All right. Sorry. All right. Blue Sky locations all over the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi as well. The epicenter down in Macomb. I think it was me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Sweet Daddy stops at most of those Blue Sky locations. You can get plenty of catering options, no matter how big the size, whether it's just your family, extended family, maybe a reunion, maybe a big corporate event. Let them handle it and take care of you. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. It reminds me I need to ask Corey something. I need to give him a call as soon as we're done. 662-257-1900. Ask Corey for a quote on the Ford product you're interested in. You'll get it within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. Right to the bottom line. Get that quote. You can shop it around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. Let's hop into a Clark Ford today. You'll absolutely love the product. You'll really love the service. They take great care of you at Clark Ford. They go the extra mile over and over and over again because that's just sort of how they do business. 662-257-1900. Guest join this week on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit CampbellClinicOxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111. I don't know that they're miserable people that email me. I just think they're people that point out that that's not what they listen to the podcast for. And so I'm aware of that and cognizant
But what
of
if
that.
you had 10 people say, hey, love it, love it, love it? Would that overrule it?
But I think the majority of the people feel that way, and
Okay.
so I try to be respectful of that. They're not here for NBA commentary; they're here for Ole Miss commentary.
Probably going to hit on it. I mean, at least
athletics.
probably going to hit on a little bit of it later because it is kind of nuts. Rebel 41 says Pell's got number one pick after trading CP3. Cavs got number one pick after sign and trade LeBron to Miami. Pell's got number one pick after AD to LA. Mavs now number one pick after Luka to LA.
Yeah.
Just saying. There's a lot there. And I mean, me being noted draft conspiracist anyway with the Reggie Bush situation, I'm
If you followed me,
kind of all in here.
If you followed me on X yesterday as that was unfolding, I was like, wow. But
wow.
There was a lot of wow.
Wow's good.
It didn't go all the way wow that I thought it would go.
It was up the wow?
It was close.
Okay. Congrats to my boy Drew Pomeranz. He's shoving for the Cubs so far.
He's been really good.
Gets a save last night in the win over the Marlins. Through an inning, allowed a hit. Got to save 2 strikeouts for the season. He's up to, 7.2 innings pitched over 8 games. No runs allowed, earned runs at least. 2 hits, 2 walks, 8 Ks, and a .52 whip for the 36-year-old.
Yeah, I think it's a credit to 2 people. One, obviously Drew, who's taking great care of his body over the course of, God, he's been gone a long time. It's hard to believe. 15 years or so in the bigs.
Yeah.
And then I think it's a credit to Craig Counsell, who knew him from a previous stint and has used him really well. I think one of Counsell's skills as a manager as difficult as it is, over 162 game season, is putting bullpen guys in positions to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've done a really good job of that with Pomeranz. And then, again, credit to Drew. He's really been effective.
They liked a lot of the downstream analytics that he had in the minor leagues that had other stops and said, hey, even though the big numbers weren't great, there's something there.
Yeah.
You can use it correctly. And yes, I thought his career was over. I mean, I thought he was done, and he's hung around and found another stop here.
It'd be interesting to know whether he thought at any point that his career was over.
Yeah.
But he's taking great care of himself, and he still has really effective stuff against left-handers, and he's very good. He's very good in that role.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they view him as more and more as increasingly as a valuable piece.
Drew was the 5th overall pick in 2010. If I have that,
is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, 2010. We were. I was driving back from Charlottesville quickly to get back for the draft because they had like a media watch party thing at on campus for him that night in Oxford. Ole Miss had been eliminated by St. John's the day before.
Oh.
In a game that Ole Miss, if I have this right, I think they hit a grand slam in the night and still lost 20-16 or 16-12 or something like that. Ole Miss did one of those nice ones. And then, next day, Drew, I think it was the Rockies. I think it was the Rockies. It took him 5th overall. So a lot of stuff there. Mac Attack, our guy, thanks for the super chat. Since I was like 2 minutes of NBA takes minimum, please and thank you. I am going to mention it later on, not right now, but I at least it's worth discussing some of the probability situations with what happened there last night in that. So,
I mean, I'll finish my thought on it. I get tired of the criticism because I think the criticism comes from a sort of a personal place with people. There's a theme to the emails, and so I it's not that I'm sensitive to it. I'm just aware of it, cognizant of it to the point that it's not worth provoking.
All right. So have you ever heard of this? Because I'll be completely frank, I had not as of maybe last night or this morning. You ever heard of the star predictor score?
I have not.
Never heard of that?
I don't think I have.
Okay. So it is they do prospect grades for every incoming NFL football player.
Okay.
All right. So here's what it is. AI overview. Again, had never heard of this thing. Mileage may vary at your will on how much you put into this. The Star Predictor Score is a scouting tool used to evaluate NFL players, particularly in the context of fantasy football drafting. It aims to identify players with the highest potential for fantasy success and minimize draft risk. The SPS uses a percentile grading system, with the top player having a score of 100.0 and adjustments made as new players enter the NFL. Okay. The score is based on a combination of 17 different metrics, and a higher SPS generally indicates a greater likelihood of success in fantasy football.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
All right. There's some extra things, but that's enough. You can look into it deeper as you would like. So, the top all-time quarterbacks in SPS grades, okay? So this metric they're using, you with me?
Yep.
All right, top all-time since they've been doing it. It's like 2003 or something when they started it.
Okay.
Number 10, Drew Brees.
Sure.
Worked out. Number 9, Josh Allen. Number 8, Kyler Murray.
So these are grades that guys got coming
out of not now.
Okay.
Coming out of college. Their first initial grade.
So Drew Brees, that was his grade coming out of Purdue.
92.
Okay.
Josh Allen, number 9.
Out of Wyoming. Yep.
Kyler Murray, number 8.
Okay.
Cam Newton.
Okay.
Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
Number 6.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes.
Pretty strong.
Number 5.
Okay.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay.
Number 3, Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Number 2, Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
So you would assume there's no bust in here. They've done, Deshaun has busted himself, but that's not a football related.
There was no way to realize that he would have a proclivity for what he had a proclivity for.
Number 1 all time, Jackson Dart.
No. Really?
Reading it here. Star Predictor Score, SPS grades from 0 to 100. Jackson Dart's grade all time, 100.
Did they explain it?
Again, mileage may vary.
No, I mean,
takes into fact his stats, his skill set. There's a huge comp to Josh Allen in this. It's kind of how they're
there's a
comping
lot.
him.
There are some. He's not as big as Josh Allen from a height standpoint, but Jackson's a big dude. I don't. Before he made a couple of throws late.
Said draft position is part of it because they have to be given the opportunity.
Right.
And he would have still been top 10 had he been taken third round or later. But that once the Giants drafted up, it bumped his score up to the top overall score ever.
Yeah, because they invested multiple picks in him. Huh. That's fascinating.
Again,
No
no idea. I know nothing. I've never heard of this before yesterday, but that's what it says. It's for fantasy, but a quarterback if you have a good fan like
right,
whatever.
Sure, of course.
There might have been other 100s at other positions. I know one other 100 ever is Christian McCaffrey coming out of Stanford.
That one worked out,
but I'm not sure beyond that. I know Calvin Johnson was way up there coming out. That worked.
I'm kind of with Tupelo. I don't know that he has Allen's arm strength.
He doesn't have Allen's arm strength.
But here's two things about that. In today's NFL, I don't know that you need it. Josh Allen's a freak. I mean, his skill set is off the chart. I think he had to spend more time developing his intangibles than Jackson will. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
It's not a knock on Allen, but he came out of Wyoming. I think he had to hone his leadership skills, his not his toughness. He's a great athlete. He's tough as nails. I think he had to hone some of the precision parts of his game that I think Jackson's already pretty good at. I don't know that Jackson's ever going to be able to throw the ball 80 yards on a rope the way Allen can, but I don't really know that in the NFL you're not doing a whole hell of a lot anyway. You know what I mean? I mean, the NFL with the blitz packages that you see, the freaks at defensive end, outside linebacker that rush off the edge, the dominant defensive interior guys, you're not wanting to hold the ball long enough to throw it 80 yards anyway.
So this website that I found that does the most in-depth stuff about SPS, it says 2 paragraphs here. It says Jackson Dart's collegiate track record, unprecedented SPS, and promising start in the NFL is reason for optimism. Given Dayball's track record in developing quarterbacks, should be some mounting anticipation for Dart's maturation and success in the league. With the right guidance and development, he has the opportunity to become the cornerstone of the Giants for the next decade. When the dust settles on prospects who end up being great, it's easy to forget how they weren't the perfect prospect. Patrick Mahomes couldn't read defenses until halfway through his second year and said to himself, quote, "I was just playing." Mahomes also had footwork issues, which was compared to Kenny Pickett and Zach Wilson. Lamar Jackson's extremely concerning college completion percentage led to his most persistent weakness of accuracy issues in the NFL. And then there's Josh Allen. Case in point, when you have raw talent and an extremely high SPS, the most thing you need is a little patience. So, again.
I love the situation he's walking into because they're not going to throw him into the fire in week 1. They've got Russell Wilson. They've got Jameis Winston. They're going to have to sort through some stuff before they get to him. And I think that's to his benefit. Because Jackson's still a young guy. He's Caroline's age. That's how I remember how old he is. He's a month younger than Caroline.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. My daughter, Caroline, for those who don't follow along.
So
so he's 22 years old this month, I think. Okay. So he's got, my point is he's got yeah, not only does he have a minute, he has a full year really before he's 23, which I would think if I'm the Giants, in an ideal world, he gets a full year of development.
So it is set up in, let's see. The key components of SPS, college performance metrics, passing yards, touchdowns, completion percentage, interception rate, adjusted yards per attempt, and game experience.
What does SPS stand for again?
Star Predictor Score.
Okay, gotcha.
Athletic traits, speed, agility, arm strength, height, and weight. It's got a bunch of subcategories, but those are the main categories. football IQ and decision-making, turnover rate, interceptions and fumbles, pressure performance, completion percentage under pressure, third down and red zone efficiency. Level of competition, quality of opponents, Power 5, non-Power 5, performance against ranked teams.
Sure.
Adjusted for context, scheme fit, how the player's college system translates to the NFL, coaching quality, how well the player was coached in college, supporting cast, strength of offensive line and skill players. Each of these factors is assigned a specific weight based on historical data with NFL success. The player's raw data in each category is converted to a standardized score, Z-score. They're then combined using the assigned weights to generate the final SPS score and presented on a scale from 0 to 100. Matters because it provides a more objective, data-driven analysis of quarterback prospects, helps to reduce the amount of subjective biases and over-reliance on raw athletic traits, and teams can use SPS to cross-check their scouting reports and make more informed draft decisions. Again, believe in it or not, I don't know, but not the point at the moment. So, and then Russell Wilson was in the top 10 until Dart moved in and moved someone out. I was trying to find the rest of the quarterbacks in this draft class, but at the moment I cannot find them. So if somebody has that, feel free. But anyway. It's neat. I mean, again, I do find it interesting that there's not some just complete bust in there where it was like, oh, Ryan Leaf's number 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that is notable that all of the previous top 10 was very much up there. I think I saw Ashton Jonty was very high on running backs as well. Maybe not like 1 or something, but that he had skill sets that fit whatever it was they were doing on the running back side.
Interesting. It really is. I'm not a fantasy football guy, but it's. Grind says surprise, no mention of Jaden Daniels.
He was an outlier that actually didn't fit. I wonder if it was like size related that pumped him down in some ways or something.
Just his perceived frailty.
Yeah. I don't know that. I did not look him up. But I did see that his number was still good, like NFL starter good, but it wasn't up in that echelon of what I was talking about.
You know, I go back and remember that Ole Miss LSU game, and it was in Oxford, the one that Ole Miss won. I don't remember the final. It was 55-49 or something along those lines.
It was that.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about that? I do remember telling people that night as that game went along that we're going to remember these dudes. Everybody was so obsessed with, and I get it, I'm not criticizing, the outcome of the game and the emotion of the game, and I was kind of watching that going, these are 2 really good quarterbacks, man. Like these dudes are making plays. I mean, both of those guys in that game.
Well, hindsight, really fun damn game.
But it was a high-level quarterback game. There were some of the hot takes media people going, oh, there's no defense. Defense sucks. I don't know, man. They're both, like, I'm almost hesitant to do this because I know there's the Ole Miss thing part of it. A lot of focus got put on Jaden Daniels' fumble in that game.
Mm-hmm.
A fumble
when he got hit by Dejon Anthony.
A fumble that was caused by an NFL player, by the way.
Sure.
But if you take that play away, and I'm hesitant. Because people get so emotional about it. It was probably from a QBR standpoint, maybe one of the highest QBR games ever, where I thought both defenses were in position to make plays, but quarterbacks just made better plays all night. That was an elite quarterback game. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, you had Jaden Daniels went 27 of 36 for 414, 4-0, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
He was terrific.
27 of 36, 414, 4-0.
Yeah.
Dart went 26 of 39, 389, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Yeah, he was elite too. That's my point. It was one of those games where it was like, wow. And both of them, if I remember correctly, both of them had a few drops.
Daniels also ran for 100 yards, and Dart ran for 50.
Yeah,
Dart had a touchdown.
It was
running.
I remember thinking to myself, like, third quarter, going, boy, this is when you'll remember.
Well, look, they were damn good, but the hot take was, well, I don't know about Daniels. He just had 2 great wide receivers because he was throwing to Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors, and it went there.
Yeah.
That was the initial.
Yeah, and I remember just going, that's horseshit. I mean, I'm a big Jaden Daniels guy. I like watching him play.
Yeah.
And looking back on it over my career, now that we say this, I've told you I had that conversation with Jaden in Nashville at SEC Media Days that really struck me. And I had obviously multiple conversations with Jackson where it was like, this guy's got it. He's sharp. He's different. Because I've had conversations with quarterbacks that I've covered or occasionally covered, and I was like, this guy's not. The elevator doesn't go high enough.
Yeah. That wasn't it. Yeah.
No, not with him.
Logan Diggs had 19 carries for 101 yards in that game.
Yeah. Good player.
Judkins 33, 177. Bentley 9 for 90.
Good players. We'll see with Logan.
Getting a little viscerally triggered as I mentioned some of these.
We'll see with Logan with the ACL, but all of those guys are NFL players. I mean, Bentley's going to get an opportunity in the NFL. It's going to be a matter of how they figure out how to use him.
He's wearing number 37 for the Indianapolis Colts.
Quinshon's going to play in the league. He is. Sorry.
Caden Priestcorn cut yesterday. Don't know what that situation may or may not be moving forward. I saw that. Also saw that from a women's basketball perspective, Madison Scott was cut by the Dallas Wings. She was the first pick of the second round of the WNBA draft this past season. So
I'll say this. I've learned to listen to certain people, like when coaches say things. And if you go back and listen to some things that opposing coaches said about Jackson Dart, the NFL believing in him late in the process is fine. The NFL had plenty of time. They used the whole runway, which is perfectly fine. There were some college coaches who saw it quick, who said as much quick. Like, I've had a couple of conversations with coaches at other schools privately where they really raved about Dart in a way that I've used this example before. I was covering Auburn as a beat writer in 2001, and Auburn came to Ole Miss. Eli Manning was the quarterback.
Yeah.
It was a really close game. Ole Miss lost late to Auburn. And after the game, it was down in the bowels of Vaught Hemingway, and rain was kind of falling. It was gross. And Gene Chizik was the Auburn defensive coordinator at the time. And I asked him something about Eli Manning, and he said he's better than Peyton. He said he'll be a championship quarterback at the NFL level. And I was like, wow, really? And he goes, yeah, absolutely. From just skill set, he's better.
That's the game that Ernie Accorsi was at?
Correct.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at the time.
Right.
I subsequently discovered that Ernie Accorsi walked off that.
Giant scout.
Yeah. Giants GM at the time.
Yeah.
Walked away going, that's got to be my guy. So my point is that sometimes, like, it was one of the days where I remember having, it's May. Sorry. I always push back when media people try to break down X's and O's and act like they're football people. Yeah, you can see, like, I've said this about Laramie Tunsil. I watched him in practice one day.
Hey, he's good.
I do. Yeah. He's got it. But, like, I didn't walk away from covering that Auburn Ole Miss game going, holy shit, Eli Manning. I mean, I knew he was good.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was, oh my God, good.
Yeah.
And Gene Chizik was like, man, that was a lot. He was like, we threw a lot at him. If I'm trying to remember exactly what he said, we threw a lot at him. He doesn't have a lot to work with, and we really didn't stop him.
Mm-hmm.
He said they kind of stopped themselves.
Yeah, the talent around him was not exceptional by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, and so for him to say that, and then you found out later that Accorsi walked out of that press box going, that's my guy, I got to figure it out. Yeah, we have to get him.
We got 2 years, but we got to figure it out.
We have to get him. Yes, he's got to be. That's our guy.
Mm-hmm.
It made me go, don't ever be a talent evaluator as a writer. You're not there. That's not what you're there for. Don't try it. Do what you're good at, which is writing, putting a story together. Don't be the guy that writes about here's what schematically happened, because you don't know.
Yeah. Final thought on that. I'll do it real quick after the break. First, summer just around the corner. Folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting a summer bod is out and getting your savings bod is in. Spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank. Say goodbye to the overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and limited talk and text. Delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, skipping breaking a sweat and the bank is the goal. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/MPW. It's mintmobile.com/MPW. Upfront payment $45 for 3 months, 5 GB plan required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Full price options available. Taxes and fees extra. Mint Mobile for details.
Sorry,
You're good.
Laura lost a bag at the hotel, and it's been located and found. And so I was communicating with that person at the hotel. So
it was in Arkansas?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kudos to the Hilton Garden Inn, Bentonville.
Okay.
They actually did the
job.
They went the extra mile. Maybe it's because they found out I had 8 gazillion hotel points. Who knows? We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, South Haven, Memphis, those areas, get in touch with Southern 662-429-4429. Brought to you by Window Hero. I just was thinking about this out loud. We'll talk Jaden Daniels. So I'll do the same. Window Hero. They're coming to do our house here soon. We've got gutters that need to be cleaned. They're going to take care of it. They'll do yours as well. Window cleaning, pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, everything in between. They've got the experience, equipment, expertise to help your property look and feel brand new. It's windowhero.com or 662-510-7077. Oxford locals and Ole Miss families, if you need any dry cleaning or laundry done right, Lapels has you covered. Proudly serving the Oxford community since 2016, Lapels takes care of everything from suits and formal dresses to comforters and everyday laundry. Even better, they offer free pickup and delivery to make life easier. Just call 662-638-3149 to be added to their pickup and delivery route, or visit them at 3010 Old Taylor Road, right across from the Mark Condominiums. Mention Rebel Grove for 50% off your first order. Trust Lapels to keep you looking your best. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Sego Wealth Management, specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, Andrew can help you. So schedule a free discovery meeting, see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. And we're brought to you by Arnett's Fine Jewelry. It's a fourth-generation jeweler located in the old Lamons Jewelry Building, North Lamar Avenue here in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair. They really do. They're great at that. Laura gave Caroline a graduation gift recently that included some old jewelry that really needed to be cleaned and fixed. They did a phenomenal job on that. They'll do it for you as well. And obviously, they have everything you could want in terms of jewelry-related gifts. They want to be your jeweler at Arnett's.
I mean, you got something on Jaden Daniels, but I mean, Lane has been kind of saying this. I mean, look, I think Austin's got a lot of intangibles. I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but Lane has sort of spent time going, hey, you guys probably are speaking to the fans or whomever going, hey, Dart was different. Not going to be one you just go replace real quick and move on with your day here.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I mean, look at LSU, for example. They've got a good quarterback. It was hard to replace Jaden Daniels. As good as he was, and he's good. Listen, he gets nuss. He gets talked about by NFL people as a first-round draft choice, okay? And replacing Jaden Daniels, they took a step back. What I was thinking a minute ago was there's a real world where you're getting some Giants, Commanders, Redskins, whatever we call them, games down the road between Jackson Dart and Jaden Daniels where people flash back to that game in Oxford. And the two guys, Jackson and Jaden, have known each other for a long time because when Daniels was playing at Arizona, was it Arizona State or Arizona?
Arizona State.
At Arizona State, he and Dart trained at the same facility there in California. I mean, they go way back.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that they're friends. They're certainly acquaintances. But that was a high-level football game.
It was Jalen Hurts that was tight with AJ back in the day. They were always together.
Super tight.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because Jalen Hurts was always seen at the Ole Miss
That's what
facility.
I mean. Yeah.
And people are like, is he transferring? Can you imagine in today's era, they'd be like, oh, my God, maybe he is transferring.
Yeah, back then it was like, nah, he's just buddies with AJ.
They're just tight, yeah.
I don't know. Just hanging out. And it's like the programs are so, they're like, whatever, here, like whatever. Fans are like, no, you can't let him in the building. He play like, it's like, easy killer. It's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's going to be all right.
It's going to be okay.
Was it Poe that the former administration didn't let come back and work out in the building?
Yeah. God. I always love that.
It's a different time.
And people were like, McCready's bad for the program. I'm like, I would have let him in. I don't know.
I'd have spotted him if he needed some help.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are out of your minds.
There was some.
What do you think that day?
There was some stuff.
I bet you because you had worked at a different outlet before you came over, and I hired you and got you to come to Rivals. The day that I wrote Pete Boone should resign, I bet you were like, oh my God, what's happened to my life?
I remember, well, no, it'd been long enough. We were 2 years in almost at that point, or no, more than 2. But I guess it was at the Pete Boone. Was that the one we did? When did you write that? What week was that?
So it was the week.
I'm getting that and the Houston one mixed up.
Okay,
so help me here.
So here's the time frame.
And we can start. We probably have some new listeners. And again, it's May 13th. I can get to UT Martin in a minute. We got time.
It was 2011.
It's 2011.
Ole Miss had lost to Vanderbilt on Saturday.
Yes.
And I went down on the field. It was 30-0, and Ole Miss had the football.
They were driving furiously to try to score. That was one of the James Franklin 9-win teams, I think. And I think they threw a ball to Moncrief late to make it 30-7 for a final score.
I think that's right. And the fact that they were trying so hard to score right there was like, this game's not going to be a dub, And I just remember I walked down to Pete Boone on the sideline and said,
that's right.
Your thoughts, basically?
Yeah.
And I expected him to no comment me.
Yeah.
And he said, unacceptable.
And you went,
oh. And so I built my column.
You care to elaborate
on that? And then I want to say it was that Monday.
But that was it. Well, okay, but
didn't he, wasn't that the Monday that he came in and basically threw him under the bus?
Yeah. And we thought because of that, we were kind of organizing that night in Nashville. Right after the game, hey,
well, we
got to be ready.
We were told this could go down.
Yeah, like now.
And so, we worked that night, kind of hot boards and stuff like that.
We were working at that brewery across from the hotel, right there at West End.
Yep.
Black something.
Yeah, it's still there, but it's
still
changed
there?
names.
Okay.
Anyway, on that Monday, Pete came back. And if I recall this correctly, and it's been a minute, 14 years.
Blamed Houston for everything.
And just kind of threw him under the bus. And I said, you can't castrate him like that. Because if he's still your coach, and at that moment he's still your coach, he's got to recruit, and you just killed him. You just chopped his off. And I said, you should resign.
We thought it was probably going to be after the Georgia game if he would just lose it convincingly. And Georgia kept falling over their own feet that day. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Like, we thought that he was going to get fired that day.
He was getting fired that day.
And they couldn't get beat bad enough. Like, Georgia kept missing field goals or having to kick field goals. And you're like, oh, my God. It became a mockery in the press box a little bit because you're like, well, just go.
I spent that entire game on the phone because I kept getting called by people that I had to take the call from.
Yeah.
And I knew at that point, like, where things were going, but they were trying to decide where to go with everything, and it was getting, the deal with Houston was getting so contentious
because they only got beat 27-13 by Georgia that day.
Yeah, so it wasn't bad enough, and then the Arkansas thing happened.
Fresno.
They beat Fresno, and then they
beat Fresno at Fresno when he did the foxhole thing. We got to go on the road and really go get one.
Now, Alabama smoked them before they played Arkansas pretty good, right?
That's correct. 52-7 tied.
And then
the Arkansas
and
game.
For context, this was Bobby Petrino's Arkansas team that was legitimately good.
Yeah. Which was they had a hell of an effort that day.
And they
led. They were up like 17-0 early.
I think so.
I think they were up 17-0 early.
And Arkansas kind of didn't win it till the fourth quarter because I can remember Wally Hall talking about how this was a really poor sign for them. And
yeah, 29-24 Hogs.
Was it that close?
Yeah.
And it wasn't no 49-10, was it? And I look back on that. I'm like, God, I should have said, where was this comment last week?
Because it sure as hell was 52-7.
Because I pretty much nailed it the week before, and none of your freshmen said anything. That was a bad day. That was a day I got home that day, and I remember sitting out on the patio out there telling Laura, I'm like, we're not going to be able to stay here. I did. That's what I told her. I mean, I said, so we were talking about, because I guess Campbell at that point was 10 and a half. And I was like, we've got to get out of this. This is not salvageable on a personal level because I just caught so much crap.
So Ole Miss was up 17-0 with 6:42 to go in the first half.
Yeah.
Arkansas scores a touchdown with 5:11. So halftime 17-7 Rebels.
Yeah.
They come right out of the break, Arkansas does, and they get a field goal 17-10. They tie it 6:48 in the third quarter, 17-17. They go up 24-17 3 minutes later. I mean, just rolling now all of a sudden. And then Ole Miss gets an offensive safety. So Arkansas gets 2 more points, 26-17 at the end of the third quarter. Arkansas tacks on a field goal with 11:31 to go. And then, so it's pretty much done at that time.
The game was
Arkansas
over.
was up 12. Ole Miss had a touchdown pass with 1:23 to go.
Right.
And then didn't get an onside kick, lost 29-24 at that point. That's how it went.
Yeah.
I was trying.
And then you got into the press conference, and it was the first thing he said, and you realized, oh, this has been something he was imagining. It would have been like it Ole Miss won the game. My God.
Oh.
Savage.
What you were able to do was give Calkins a story that day. Because didn't he write about you?
He did. Yeah, he did.
That's what I thought.
Well, and it was funny because one of the people who really built the narrative of how bad I was for the program was like, you didn't deserve that. And I was like, God, you helped set that up, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, for context, when I got here, I thought, I got here in March of 2008. I thought it was going to be interesting. And I walked in and I was right away. I knew body language and stuff like this is bad. This is caustic. And he was a first-year coach. I mean, he was fresh. And then he does literally, I mean, we joke about it, but the back-to-back Cotton Bowl thing, I mean, he had a ton of capital. And he did not like me. And then the 2010 season happened. They lost that game at Tennessee.
I was covering it.
I had the flu. Mm-hmm. You went. Mm-hmm. And I was in this room talking to boosters who were like, he's going to have to shake up his staff. And I wrote that story.
That's right.
And he comes up to me on that Monday. Ole Miss is getting ready to play LSU.
Was that the next week?
Yep. And he comes
the Tennessee game was like 50-something to something.
It was bad. And he goes, so I got to make changes, huh? And I went, Houston, did you even read it? And he goes, nah. And so I pulled it out
on your phone,
on my phone, and said, read it. And the point was, one of the coaches that I knew was going to take the hit was Ron Dickerson Jr., and I was standing right there in front of his group as they were warming up inside the IPF.
Yeah.
And he reads it, hands me the phone back, and goes, sources good? And I went, I wouldn't write it if they weren't. Like, it was my way of going, why can't we be professional with one another? Poor Chris Vaughn always had to be his messenger.
Good guy. Chris,
great guy. He would get, congratulations, Chris, if you're by chance listening to his daughter. His daughter graduated from college on Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he had some dark media days at Arkansas, no question, because he expected homers. And whenever he got criticism, he was super sensitive to it. And I wasn't even all that critical in the first couple of years. I don't know that I was critical at all. But he had been told you couldn't trust me by someone who he inherently trusted. And it led to that 2011 season. Because if you remember, he would never say my name. He would call everybody else by name, and he wouldn't use my name.
Until Kentucky.
And that day at Kentucky, after he lost, they were bad in Lexington that day. And it was an afternoon game because everything was getting off the slate for that big LSU-Alabama Super Bowl in Tuscaloosa, I think, that night.
And that was the night that you wrote that night.
Well, I asked
it's
him.
over.
It's over. I asked him
because I remember us watching that game, or me watching that game from home. You, I guess, at the hotel were driving back or whatever you did, and Bama and LSU was on. I remember just like pouring something in a glass and went, "Well, here we go." And,
yeah. Well, I called you right before that game started. Said, "Hey, he's not.
Yeah.
They're announcing something between now and Monday."
Mm-hmm.
And so we did a podcast.
And they announced that he would be done at the end of the season.
Right.
Is that when Burns got up and did the speech?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Keith Burns, secondary coach at the time. Because the Egg Bowl that year was so weird because the players hated everybody. You had like Denzel and all them, and he'd come into the program as red shirts or whatever they were, and they were just mad.
Yeah.
Cody, those guys.
They all were talking about leaving.
We were doing the interviews across from Houston's kind of like lower office area where there was just boxes lined up everywhere, like labeled, because he was moving out as soon as the game was over.
Yep.
It was.
And State pummeled them.
Boom.
And I remember looking back, what'd you expect tonight? I mean,
I think it was Ladarius Perkins, maybe. Yeah, the State running back. He took off around the corner and he scored. And media member, bam, hit the table. And you're like, what? This group?
Dude, have you been reading the book?
Because when you went to Bama to cover the State Bama game, and I was covering La Tech, and I'm like texting you, going, the Bear just put the box on his head, and it's there's this running back for La Tech that's got 2 bills plus right now, just running up and down. Oh, God.
Yeah, it's funny, man. People always talk about if you could write about one season and they think you would pick out the big winning season. The most fascinating season to ever write about on this beat for me was 2011.
Yeah.
And the only one that really comes close is the 2017 interim thing. But that was wild. But you look back on it, what made it?
It's less climactic.
Yeah,
though.
the end is bad. So the end of the book.
There's no like, woo.
Would be so, yeah.
2011. The team did have Bolden and Jeff Scott on it at least. Like it was a young Dante on that team. Nick Brazel had 8 catches for 70 that night.
I know that Brandon's in the news for something else, but looking back, the day that Brandon Bolden intentionally got himself suspended for that game so he wouldn't have to play in it was revelatory.
He and another player went fishing.
Yeah, just skip practice.
I hate to call out an innocent. I think A.J. Hawkins.
That's not who I would have said.
Okay. But maybe, yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
Okay.
But there was another player, and they make no mistake, were intentionally suspending themselves.
Yes. That was before Bama?
Yes. Which was bad.
I think it was either Bama or LSU. The first pass was picked.
Yeah, that's when I said this, because they meant this is Ole Miss football.
Right.
And I got yelled at for going, this is Ole Miss football. And I turned around like, come on. Yeah. You guys are going to that was the Alabama game where Nick Saban got mad at his coordinator for they were scoring, and I was watching with binoculars.
They were running it up the middle with it wasn't Blake Sims, was it?
Yeah, it was Blake Sims.
Yep. Yeah.
And the coordinator, I remember him looking at Saban like,
we're running the same play.
We're just doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And Saban was like, we'll do something else. He was because they were represented by the same guy and all that stuff. And Saban was trying not to, and Saban, to his credit, does not like to embarrass other coaches. And that was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
And they were running
just some sort of trap or dive.
They were just running base.
Yeah.
Ole Miss had quit.
Yeah.
And you know me, I don't use that word.
Yeah.
And then the LSU game was worse. That's when Les Miles needed at the 1 with
like 5 minutes to go
or something. Mettenberger?
He was on the team the next year, so I assume, but I don't know that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
No, that would have been Jared Lee.
Could be. I just don't recall.
Okay. I'll look it up in a minute. Either way, podcast brought to you by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. Spring sports are underway. Football selection times have hit inboxes. A little different era now in 2025. They're running the Points in the SIP campaign till the end of the month. Qualifying donations of at least $5,000 made to the foundation. And the Vault Society will be included in the bonus point program for 2 or 3 times the usual amount. If you want to get your priority points up, now's the perfect time. Call the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation at 662-915-7159 to learn more.
Let's see. We're brought to you by the College Corner. Got autographed footballs and helmets in stock. Also, all the latest Ole Miss gear. So if you're gearing up for the end of the baseball season or you're getting ready for 8 home football games at Vaught Hemingway, now's the time to load up on your gear. Also would make great high school graduation gifts. Got a lot of those coming up soon. Maybe you've got a high school grad in your life getting ready to go to Ole Miss. That would be a great gift for them as well. We've got 2 locations in Jackson. They've got the location in Oxford, just off of Sisk in the Oxford Commons. You can also check them out online as well. It's the College Corner. When you work with Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services, you gain a valuable advisory team and time-saving resource that will help you develop and maintain a solid strategy for your retirement plan. They're committed to providing you with the personalized attention and involvement that you want and need. Their goal is to help you manage your 401k plan properly and ultimately improve your employees' retirement readiness. It's myargentwealth.com. And we're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows John to supply his clients with added values and unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. John traveled the globe for 37 years before he got into the travel business. He knows the extra attention that's needed to make a special trip, one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. So get in touch with him, give him some parameters, give him a budget. He'll help you come up with some options that you probably wouldn't find on your own. 901-494-3387 or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com.
Podcast is brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine to prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. Everything you need when you need it with G&M. So whether that is in Holly Springs with Tyson Drugs or Oxford with G&M, 662-236-2222. The Wikipedia page, and maybe it's been broken since then, but I don't think so, says that that game against LSU was the largest margin of victory by either team in the series and Ole Miss's worst loss at home ever, breaking a record from a 47-0 loss to Kentucky in 1949.
I mean,
the final score was 52-3.
They hadn't lost like that in a minute.
No. So maybe that is still
52-3.
What was the score of the Bama game where Ole Miss scored on like the first play and then Bama scored whatever a few years ago? It was like DK caught a pass on the sideline. DK caught a pass,
yeah. That was bad. I don't remember how bad.
Okay. I know we're hitting highlights here today, guys. Sorry. You came here for a better mood.
That 2011 thing. Whew.
I apologize. So I guess Ole Miss is going to play UT Martin tonight, 6:30. Some kid for UT Martin actually has like a 2 ERA that's starting the game tonight. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know. 229 RPI.
Listen, I gotta give a shout out to Mississippi State. I'm sorry. I do. It rained a little, and they went, hey, it's too much.
Well, the NCAA is frowning upon this.
They don't care. They know RPI matters, and they're like, we're not going to even risk it.
Trying to find the letter from the NCAA.
63-7 was the final of that Alabama game.
So that's the new record?
I would assume.
Okay. Well, sorry. It has been broken since then. I apologize. And it was Jared Lee, Jordan Jefferson, and Zach Mettenberger were the 3 quarterbacks on that roster.
Okay.
On behalf of the NCAA Division
all 3 of whom would have started for that Ole Miss team.
On behalf of the NCAA Division I Baseball Committee, I wanted to let you know that we are concerned with the practice of canceling regular season games for reasons other than inclement weather. It is not the intent or spirit of the game to adjust scheduled games in an attempt to strategically impact selection data or metrics. As you are aware, when selecting teams for the championship, the committee weighs all the available data and complete body of work. The committee has kept and will continue to keep a watchful eye on team schedules and any reasons for any cancellation. During the committee's subjective evaluation of teams, games canceled to avoid the impact on mathematical metrics will be discussed and could have a negative impact on the committee's evaluation of a team. That was the NCAA.
Again, props to State.
State said, we have a meteorology department,
Hey.
and they said
it's just too much water. Just too much. Sorry. We can't make it. I respect it. I do. I mean, I respect no. Ain't no way we can get all this water off this field.
Is it even supposed to rain today in Starkville?
I'm totally serious. I'm tipping my hat if I had a hat.
The press release from Mississippi State, it says Mississippi State's final regular season home game against North Alabama on Tuesday has been canceled due to the abundance of rainfall in the Golden Triangle over the past few days and more inclement weather in the forecast for Tuesday.
It's just too much.
The decision was made to cancel Tuesday's contest against the Lions and will not be made up.
Regretfully, I'm sure. I mean, I'm totally serious. They're like, we have nothing to gain. Don't do it. But the NCAA said, yeah, well, let me tell you what the NCAA can stick. They're on the bubble. You don't mess with the bubble. You just go. Who do they got? Missouri this weekend?
They do.
Go beat Missouri. That's what, and they're focused.
Because you're playing 3 bad RPI games in a row.
So you're going to add a 4th? No, I get it.
No, again, Ole Miss would not have won a title had they played that game.
They wouldn't have made the tournament.
Not that had they lost it, if they played it.
Yes.
I did the math that day. They
Yes.
would have lost 3 or 4 RPI spots for playing the game.
Yes.
Their RPI would have fallen too low, and NC State would have gotten in.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not popular to do it here, but I'm complimenting their decision making. Someone in Hanray's room in Starkville said we shouldn't do it
because they are bubbly. I mean, State's they're 32 in the RPI in a world where they don't sweep. It's a little shaky.
No, they did the right thing.
It's shaky.
The person in Hanray's rooms went, hey, no.
Missouri's RPI is 135.
What's North Alabama like? 250?
212.
See, stupid. They did the right thing.
Because if you happen to lose it, that'd be it.
Ball game.
If the Lions got you tonight in a rainy field in Starkville.
And stuff happens in midweeks. You've seen it?
Oh,
come on.
A lot.
A lot.
Ole Miss is probably going to play.
But they're in a different boat.
They're
in.
They're completely in.
They're in. They're not having to worry about their RPI except for the hosting thing, which to do that, they probably have to sweep Auburn. And if they sweep Auburn, Chase, they'll probably host.
Yeah, you would have to either sweep Auburn or win 2 and then go crazy in Hoover, and that might not even matter. We don't have no idea.
Right.
We never know. So no, props to
Ben says, been raining all morning today in Tupelo. Someone says 45. Rebel 41 says 45% chance of rain in Starkville at 1. Hey.
We don't want y'all to come all the way over from Florence for nothing.
I mean, they're going to come down here for nothing. It's going to cost them money, travel.
Think State went ahead and paid the contract buyout?
Probably.
$10,000 or $15,000 or whatever it is.
Check. Here. They did the right thing.
We'll put it in the mail.
I mean, that was smart. Just like it was smart that year for Ole Miss to cancel it.
Mm-hmm.
Because had they played it.
Peace. Texas A&M's the team that started all this that year. They didn't play Incarnate Word.
And it was the right move.
They were trying to host or get a national seed. I forget what their deal was.
And they did. That team went to Omaha, right?
Yeah, they finished tied for 3rd.
They did the right thing.
I think. For some reason, I think Oklahoma beat them in the semifinal.
I mean,
that sounds right-ish. Tennessee fans are still arguing in my mentions over that comment from 2 nights ago.
They're in their feels.
They're in their feels.
This weekend for them could get interesting. Because if they're not,
They've got to win the series to host.
if they're not kind of locked in, they could get beat. And Arkansas is pretty good at home. I don't know what their home record is, but it's pretty stellar. What have they lost one home series this year? I don't know. I can't keep up with all the damn teams, but
everybody's beating everybody.
Everybody's beat everybody, but like they've been really good there. I bet their home away split's pretty drastic. Just my observation. I think they lost the home series to A&M, or was that series at A&M? I don't remember.
Somehow Tennessee fans are actually blaming Vanderbilt in my mentions.
Oh, they're wrong.
They're very wrong. It's not Vanderbilt's
Tennessee
fault.
started it.
Arkansas was 30-3 at home, 8-7 on the road, 3-1 on the neutral sides.
Yeah, so I'm pretty right on that one. They're good at home.
Their SEC series at home to date, they swept Carolina, swept Missouri, got it an easy start there. We didn't know it at the time.
Nope.
Did lose 2 out of 3 at home to A&M.
Yeah.
So 2 of their 3 losses on the season are in that one weekend at home.
They swept Texas at home, and then so this will be their last home. Yeah.
Yeah. That is correct. Saw Rich Eisen coming back to ESPN.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's doing the kind of a Pat McAfee type deal. They're doing an ESPN radio /TV situation with him, and they announced that Michael Jordan is going to do some NBC coverage.
I saw that
for NBA next year. Is he good on TV?
If he puts his guard down, he's really good.
Okay.
But he's got to let the barbs come out.
Yeah, I felt a little, I don't know.
But NBC's clearly steering into it. They're going to try to make it be.
Saw this. Let me find it. Texas A&M, we know they have a ton of money. We talk about them a lot, but they've been hit pretty hard by Jimbo's buyout and they took a much lower or bigger hit this year from a foundation standpoint. I saw this morning. So it says that their foundation, which is kind of their OMAF, if you will, they reported bringing in $95.7 million in FY24, set off by $116 million in expenditures. That is down this season, that is a drop from more than $25 million from the year before in amount brought in. Let's see, had more details here. They reported their shortfall was owed primarily to a decrease in contributions and grants. That was my point, is they're actually getting less money from A&M fans this year. They've had a pretty precipitous fall in funding from fans and boosters.
That might send some shivers down some spines.
Went from 113 to 85 in contributions this past year.
That might scare.
That's a big number.
That might scare some people.
During that same span, their athletic department expenditures jumped nearly $50 million, according to the financial disclosures, going from 194 to 243. So they lost almost $35 million in contributions comparatively year over year, and yet had that size jump. That was the 4th highest increase among FBS public universities. Says that
I'll tell you, Olin Buchanan with Texags told me, where were we? We were at the SEC basketball tournament. And he told me, he goes, listen, that money they're having to pay Jimbo is real money. You know, we were having that conversation about how it's easy for media and fans alike to treat those figures like they're just kind of like magic. You know what I mean? He's like, that's real money that you have to truly produce. You truly had to pay it. It actually comes out of your account. It's real.
Quote, in addition to supplementing the Aggies athletic department with tens of millions of dollars to fund scholarships, programs, and facilities, the 12th man is also partially on the hook for paying former football coach Jimbo Fisher's record-setting $77 million buyout. Through fiscal year 2024, he was due $26.7 of the liquidated damages. Then athletics director Ross Bjork previously said to that the 12th Man Foundation would apply unrestricted funds to cover the $19.4 he was due within 60 days of his firing. The payout is not individually identified on the return. They ended this past fiscal year with $216 in assets or fund balances, according to its tax return, down from $231 at the start of the cycle. And I don't know if this is related or not, but one of the reasons why Beard stayed at Ole Miss and turned A&M down was a lack of solid, concrete awareness of where the money was going to come from for NIL and other purposes. They basically just said, hey, it was fine. We'll figure it out. We got it. But they put no outline or plan in place on where exactly it was going to be coming from and how.
Right.
And that was a red flag in those negotiations.
Smart.
Yeah. You'd like to see it on paper when you're making decisions. That would be.
I just can't imagine Chris dealing with the stuff. There's a lot. I just cannot imagine.
But yeah, typically when somebody says, hey, I know it's in that way in the contract, but when that happens, we'll just figure it out. That's a red flag. You should say no to that.
It's like when someone mentioned Lane Kiffin to A&M. I was like, you just don't pay attention at all, do you? Because no. I mean, no, it wouldn't work. I mean, that would be a disaster from the get. You thought Jimbo was awkward with it? You have no idea.
Jimbo just looked like he was repeating his salary to himself over and over and over again in his head.
Probably because he was.
$95 million. $95 million. $95 million.
That's that deal where you tell yourself, it won't be that bad, and then you get there and you're like, it's that bad. It's that bad. It's worse.
It's a town that's kept them from hiring certain people. They've had coaches and wives go stake it out early to see and say, I'm not going to do it.
Not doing this to the kids.
I'm not going to go live there. It's awesome. You guys are asking for some NBA data.
They have literally everything else going for them.
A&M?
Yeah. Money, facilities, great fans. If you think about it, if you're honest, they're really nice.
Passionate fans.
They show up.
They do.
They're loud. Everything's there except
that. You go to their football games and it's loud, the stadium's shaking, and then they lose.
Yeah.
And you're going, why do you lose so many home games? It defies logic. But you do. You get beat all the time.
Yeah. It's really fascinating.
They've got such a little brother complex. They just can't let it go. Texas is this big freaking Gotham thing in the sky.
The whole song is about sawing off the horns. And then, okay, now the whole song is built around, we're going to saw his horns off, and now we've sawed his horns off. Okay, now what?
When are you going to win?
I mean, yeah, you mutilated a bull. Congrats. What's next? I mean, the whole thing is about that.
Yeah, most people's songs are like run the ball and hit the line and get across and do whatever.
Let's go to the Rose Bowl. Yeah. Alabama's deal is about go to the Rose Bowl.
No, we're going to kill a cow.
Yeah, no, we're going to saw the horns off of a bull out of pure spite, bitches. I mean, that's the whole thing. And then what?
And then we sway to mimic the saw.
Mimic the saw.
I mean, when you really break it down.
I know, I've done this.
When you really break it down, you go, hold on a minute. You guys are doing this at a wedding?
Yeah.
This is the highlight of the wedding because you can see those all over YouTube. Go. Check them out.
Oh, I know.
They all get in circles. Start sawing. Whew. I see you guys. We'll get there in a minute. First, take a quick break. Fast one. Tell you, NE Spark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, they offer both residential and business packages with speeds up to 2 gigabits. To earn more, register for service. That's nespark.com. NeSpark. Get connected. Stay local.
Located in the heart of Cajun country, right there in Broussard, Louisiana, Parrish Brewing Company's simple goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it really, really well. We got the Doctor is in. It's their go-to IPA, Dr. Juice. It's a highly crushable juice bomb. Dry hopped with a blend of their favorite hand-selected hops from the Yakima Valley. Dr. Juice's drinkability is sneaky good, considering it clocks in at 6% ABV. They've got Ghost in the Machine. It's a double IPA. It's just absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorite beers. It would be one of yours as well. You should give it a try. If you see Parrish on the label, give it a shot. It's going to be very, very good. So wherever you look for beer, look for Parrish Brewing Company. I have a mailbag to you tomorrow. It's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email Art at Arthur, ARTHUR.Hayes, HAYS, at lakesmn.com.
The Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom is located on the Ole Miss campus. They aim to explore and examine the fundamental and founding principles of the United States of America. They offer an academic minor in freedom studies and scholarship opportunities for Ole Miss students that bring along lots of networking potential. To learn more, contact Stephen Scoltetti or Rankin Shirley at freedom@olemiss.edu or visit independence.olemiss.edu. I had a list up of all the other things that have about a 1.7% probability of happening, but now I'm having a hard time finding it, as that was the Mavs.
You know what the probability of the
last
1,
night.
2, 3 was? It was like 0.0014.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Spurs got number 2.
Yeah. And as that thing was unfolding,
That's not good for the league.
I'm like, they're going to get the top pick. Son of a bitch. For months, I've thought the Spurs would get the top pick because the league would rig it.
Who's the second pick in the draft?
Probably Dylan Harper from Rutgers.
Oh, he's that good?
He's really good.
Really?
Yeah. Highly skilled.
Okay.
High ceiling.
But Flag's for sure the one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dallas just happens to trade Luka Doncic to Los Angeles.
Well, I read that list.
At the end of the LeBron James era, when the Lakers really needed something to market in a post-LeBron world. And months later, Dallas just happens to win the lottery to get Cooper Flagg.
You're not buying it?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Sorry.
People who are, what is the general consensus among notable media? Are they bought and paid for?
They're being careful. I saw where Chuck Cooperstein, who's a friend, been the longtime broadcaster for the Dallas Mavericks, really pushing back against the conspiracy theories. There's a Utah Jazz beat writer, not Tony Jones, another one that Larson, I think is his name, who I really like and trust. And he says, I was in the room, y'all. It's not rigged. Just happened.
It's bad for the league.
It's a bad look.
Bad look after bad look after bad look. Again, I read that list. Every time there's been something consequential, they end up with number 1 pick. A team does.
Yeah, you would have loved to have seen, from a league standpoint, Charlotte or Utah get the pick and get Flagg. Instead, he goes to a major market that just got decimated. I mean, it looks like a quid pro quo. Now, look, I'm full conspiracy theory here lately. Someone asked my thoughts on the Karen Reed trial. I actually believe the cops framed her.
Okay.
I do. I mean, watching the trial, the evidence is beginning to point in that direction. It's not even reasonable doubt anymore. I actually think the people inside the house killed him and they spent the night covering it up.
Do you really?
And blaming her. I do.
Okay.
I think she's guilty of being drunk, but I don't think she's guilty of killing him. I don't. I mean, the taillight stuff, and there's the missing video from the just conveniently missing video. There's a lot there. There's no way you could sit in that jury box and convict that woman of second-degree murder. No chance. And so I'm fresh conspiracy.
Sure.
But Philadelphia was at risk of losing their pick, and they end up picking third. The Spurs get second, and the Mavs in a year with Dallas in trouble moving forward. All of a sudden, boom, momentum.
Yeah.
Come on. That's a lot.
Few super chats I missed early. Tupelo Rep, thank you. Cards with 9 straight wins, playing really well. I haven't noticed that, but good for them. They win the division. Are they up? St. Louis number 1 in the division.
I think they're a game back of the Cubs.
Okay. Kyle, appreciate you around every single day, including your super chat this morning. Just want to say thank you for all you do. I've had a rough few weeks, and y'all are a great escape. Love you guys, Neal, Chase, Jeffrey, Siski, and Ben. Appreciate you, Kyle. Hope everything's doing a little better. Shoot us a DM if we can help. Andre says, does the Vatican avoid tariffs because we have a made in the USA Pope, and people in my neck of the woods are really upset about Ohio State, Texas being at noon. Me personally, I'm over big noon kickoff. A lot of range there, Andre. Thanks for super
That's
chat.
a lot of range there. Yeah,
I did see that a lot of future bets in Vegas have been skyrocketing on Chicago teams in Villanova because the Pope is a Villanova grad and a Chicago fan. So in Vegas,
he's a White Sox fan.
He is.
He
was at the 2005 World Series.
Yeah, they've shown him. Yeah, he probably was pleased to see Tim Elko hit the home run the other day. Maybe he blessed that home run.
Yeah. Future bets on the Cubs, Bears, and Wildcats have all surged in the hours after Leo became Pope. The trading card crew got in on the divine action too. Leo's first Topps card set a sales record among the brand's instant release non-sports cards with over 133,000 copies sold. His print run exceeds the number for recent LeBron James and Victor Wembanyama entries. I don't mind the Big Noon Kickoff show. I don't watch it, really. It is not – I don't think I guess if you're in the Big Ten, you do because it's talking about your teams maybe a little more. But in general, it has not grabbed sort of the indirect viewing of the country the way game day still occupies.
It's a little bit of the Coke Pepsi thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of – you've acquired a taste for Coke, and by God, you're not going to drink Pepsi.
We should do that taste test one day because I see all these people on the internet that say they really can't tell the difference between the soft drinks if they don't see the labels.
I would probably taste. I have not had a soft drink in so long
that you might not could.
I'd be interesting.
I do think I would struggle with some of the diet versions versus like the sugar-free versions.
Laughing a grind. It is a good song. No, I think they framed her. I do.
So what's going to happen though?
I mean, I would hope for the sake of justice that she's acquitted. Then I don't know where it goes from there. I'm in no hurry to move to Dedham, Massachusetts, though. It feels kind of mafia-ish. Like those are some scary people.
It's not on your list.
No, I mean those are some scary people. That should send shivers down people's spines that we can get to this place.
Yeah, Daniel, Sprite Zero is actually pretty good. I've had some Sprite Zero in press boxes, and I'll have a Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar occasionally.
Oh,
that's the one that I typically. It used to be like Dr. Pepper 10, and they've switched it to like zero sugar or 0 calories or whatever now.
Not my wheelhouse. I just don't know. I mean, back in my fat days, I drank some soda. But in my, no, we're going to fight this. Like, we're going to fight it so hard. I don't drink soda.
I stay away from ginger ale because regular ginger ale has calories in it like a soda. And then
it's all the sugar in it.
Diet ginger ale just doesn't do anything for me. So that's not, there's no reason for that. Yeah, I mean, Neal had a day where he'd hammer the orange soda in Hoover or at the media day.
At SEC media days, still I'll allow myself one orange soda.
Is that what you do?
Yeah. I'll pick a day and go, okay, today's the day I have an orange soda.
You get the dill pickle chips too?
No, I stay away from those.
Okay, you don't touch the dill pickle chips?
No, because I'm afraid that addiction would kick back in.
We see Golden Flake nowhere else, but by God, they are all over the
those dill pickle chips
the press
are good.
area.
They're good now. And you can go from one bag to two quick. And the next thing you know, you're off to the races.
Sprite Zero Cherry Lime. That does sound good. Yeah. I don't mind cherry soft drinks.
No.
I hadn't had a Pepsi in a minute, though.
Those Sonic drinks.
Like cherry limeade or something.
Yeah, those are good.
They do diet ones.
Yeah, I know. I try to just avoid that world.
That genre.
Yes.
It makes me eat more. If I have diet drinks, the sugar kicks in and I want to eat more.
I know.
So it's not the calories in the drink. It's what it does to you to then proceed to eat.
100%.
It ignites your sweet tooth. You suddenly want to grab an Oreo or something.
And then next thing you know.
Off and running.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know your weaknesses.
Self-scout.
Yeah, you do. You have
strong with the self-scout.
Sometimes you have to do a self-scout.
These things are okay. These things are not.
Well, I mean, every football team in their open date does a self-scout. I think sometimes it's important that you do your own self-scout.
We'll have coverage tonight. Let's see. We got we got Knicks up 3-1. They can close tomorrow.
Yeah, and that was the Jason Tatum thing was depressing last night. It really was.
Is it a knee or an Achilles or what?
Probably an Achilles.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not good. That's probably the end of that era for them.
Wow. That sucks.
It was a big moment, and JT was playing great last night. I mean, he was keeping them in it in a game where they weren't getting anything from Brown and Porzingis. It was really him and Derek White were keeping them in a game where Jalen Brunson was just fantastic. It was a
good game.
It was a great game at MSG, Celtics, Knicks, and it kind of took the air out of the balloon. Like for me, when Tatum went down and you saw how bad it was like I was really enjoying that game, and that kind of killed it. Like at one point, I'm gonna stay up and watch Warriors Wolves, and I went to bed. That game depressed me. The end of it.
When did he get hurt in the game?
Fourth quarter. It was getting away. They were down 7. It was getting away from him, and he was playing his ass off. He's a great player. He's a champion.
I expect the Wolves to dispatch of the Stephless Warriors tomorrow night. They're up 3-1 as well.
Yeah, Golden State can't score enough.
And then 2-2 back in OKC. When's that?
Tonight.
It's tonight.
Yep. Okay. Game 5 tonight.
Is that the only game tonight?
Oh, no. I think Pacers-Cavs Game 5 is tonight.
Oh, interesting. And they can close.
Pacers can close in Cleveland.
Okay. Got it. So that is.
I think Donovan Mitchell's a game time decision. It's got to be a frustrating deal for Cleveland because they sort of did everything the right way all year, and they just had injuries at the worst time. And the media hot takes, which drive me insane, will things that are bad for the league. The media will come back and they'll crucify this Cleveland team, and it's wrong. It's hard to win.
They got banged up,
and it's like if the Thunder don't win the series, the media is going to say, they're frauds. No, they're young.
Mm-hmm.
They're young. Youth is not typically a virtue in the NBA playoffs.
Thunder Nuggets, Pacers, and Cavs tonight. We'll recap that. We'll talk about Ole Miss's game against. Yeah, that looks terrible. I didn't even mean to see it. UT Martin tonight.
It just sucks. I mean, it sucks that that's the way it ends for him. He'll probably miss an entire season. I mean, he's devastated. I hated it. It was. And I'm not a Celtics fan. I kind of typically cheer against them, but
stuff.
I love his game, and I think he's an absolute. This term gets used way too much, and I apologize, but he's a warrior. I mean, he willed them to a title. They went through some years where they underachieved, and the media in Boston can be tough. And they got one, and they were in position to compete for another one. I mean, the East was kind of opening up with Cleveland, getting hurt and going down, and it was a damper on a playoffs that I think have been terrific.
Yeah, 121-113 last night. Knicks over Celtics for the Knicks to go up 3-1. So take care. Have a good day. We will talk to you again in the morning. Stay safe.